The Marr tragedy has been Dowsley's biggest story until now. Won him an award. Yet after 9 years at the Herald Sun, Dowsley feels like he's surrounded by reporters with higher profiles, like he's a Toyota who wants to be a Porsche. His newspaper investigations have located a pedophile hidden by the state government near a school and triggered a cold case murder charge. But he's still waiting for the career-changing breakthrough. He doesn't know it, as he identifies friends and foes amid the hubbub of the Palmerston, but tonight he'll finally get that opportunity. The next 6 years of his professional life are about to be framed. An ex-elite squad officer approaches Dowsley. They know each other well. The reporter suddenly finds he is answering rather than asking questions. "Can you get birth certificates?" the officer asks. "No," Dowsley replies. "Why?" The ex-detective passes on a rumour about criminal barrister Nicola Gobbo, well known for her peroxide hair and plunging necklines. She's recently given birth to a daughter. The gossip says the girl's father is a former assistant police commissioner called Jeff Pope. "Prove it," the officer challenges. "Get the piece of paper." This detective is not the only one spreading stories. The evening drinks spill over into another bar, where Dowsley hears how Pope dropped out of Victoria Police 6 months ago, without the fanfare normally reserved for someone of his rank. Pope has become well known in police circles since his recent review of the force's covert operations, including the acutely sensitive Source Development Unit, SDU, responsible for high-risk police informers. When he recommended the shutdown of the SDU in February, he hadn't spoken to the unit's head before dispatching him and his men into irrelevance. The gathering buzzes with speculations about Gobbo, Pope, and naughty sex. The rumour galvanizes those who view Pope as an enemy. Pope must have fathered the child of the gangland lawyer, the thinking goes, because Pope's detractors want to believe it. Yet the claim doesn't sound convincing to Dowsley. The tip-off leading to the biggest story of Dowsley's career will prove, in fact, to be wrong. He doesn't know Pope, but he wonders if the sex rumour has been muddled up with the anger at Pope's decision to close the SDU. Dowsley is wary of sex scandals. When he last wrote a story on the topic, a sports manager threatened to hurt him. But the inclusion of Gobbo's name? This intrigues him greatly. Gobbo represented many of the biggest figures in the drug turf wars, popularly known as gangland, that gripped Melbourne between 1999 and 2010. Dowsley already knows Gobbo can be fearsome. He once called Mick Gatto, then leader of the so-called Carlton crew, about a gangland story he was writing. Instead of Gatto, Dowsley got Gobbo. "Do not associate Mr. Gatto with gangland," Gobbo declared, spitting out her flat vowels with a venom that prompted her client, sitting next to her, to calm her down. Gobbo doesn't slot into the usual conventions of lawyers, cops, and criminals. Everyone seems to know a Gobbo story, and almost everyone seems to lack 9/10 of the full drama. Dowsley has heard that Gobbo walked into police headquarters a couple of years ago and announced that she had once had a relationship with Pope. Tonight's love child element is a fresh take on a long-standing story. He leaves the Christmas drinks serenaded by police entreaties. Go on, do your job, find out who the father is. But his journalistic antenna tells him the story is behind the story. He comes into work late the next morning, too dusty for the gym. He chats with a friend, defence solicitor Rob Starry, about the love child business. Starry knows every criminal lawyer in Melbourne, and Gobbo has been on his mind. For some time, he has been wondering about certain courtroom events. In 2008, Gobbo wore a hidden police wire to record a conversation with former police detective Paul Dale. Her evidence was later critical to cases brought against Dale for lying to the Australian Crime Commission and for murder. It was odd, almost unprecedented, for a defence lawyer to